It's uncontrollable.
Wow, he sounds like he's 6.
All good, mate. Actually scared the shit out of me.
Dale, can you just share yourself and stop being mean? Can you please? You're the fastest of everyone. Please?
Right side, clear.
It's not about being mean, mate. It's about how much work he might have put into that setup to get it to handle in the way that he likes.
Sorry, thought he was gonna give me the room you wanna outlap. Sorry, Gary.
Every time I go to Oran Park with people, they never share setup. I mean, never.
Big.
Take a look on the forum, you'll find some setups from 4 Motorsports. Or pick up the development series setups. They should put one out every week.
I can't go flat anywhere except for the front straight. It's the only place I can go flat out.
Well, it's probably the same for everyone.
You're doing 106s, dude. You're quicker than a lot of people.
Shit, 106. He's complaining. I don't know.
Exactly. I'm lucky to do a 19, and I'm not asking for setups. I wish I could. Someone to give me a setup, but you know, I don't expect people to.
You're not getting the young bloke confused with me, are you?
Your voice is much lower, mate.
How about you try myself and see how bad it is?
I'll be happy to have a 106 setup.
Well, it just slides wherever it goes. All it does is just slide.
I'm in a room with Madison Down and Richard Ansett. They're doing 105.
Madison Downs actually is my friend. I'm going to go team seek with him.
Well, our things all set up, man. He's the quickest bloke I've seen around here.
Because he is the quickest bloke ever. One of the best in the world, obviously.
Where's the mute button?
Yes.
Isn't it bedtime?
Got one in the dirt, coming back on. Stay on your toes. Get back to the rhythm. Do your thing. Buddy, we're going to pitch in about 4 laps. 4 laps.
Deja vu.
On your left. Still there. On your clear. Clear.
Gotta be kidding me. Oran Park is such a tight and tiny track. It's like a goat trail up a mountain. Last thing you need is
Keep your eyes open.
come up behind somebody as they come out the pits, especially if they don't realise you're on a times lap and they're on an out lap. The sun's just started blaring through the window. Can't see a damn thing out my left eye.
Slow one's in front of you. Keep an eye open.
Sorry, mate. I was just trying to get you some room.
In front of you.
Would probably help if I did some work on the setup. Maybe soften it up a bit. But for now, Just want to get some laps under my belt. Yeah, more stuttering. I should be in the sixes.
Stay on your toes. Car on the right. Keep coming.
Messed
He's
that up
moving.
completely.
Keep going. Front of you, keep your eye open. All right, baby, let's shake it off. One lap at a time.
Wheel in the dirt.
Got one off the track in front of you. Left side. Still there. Clear, clear, clear. Good job.
No idea what that was.
left side, clear.
Damn it, stuttering hell.
Thanks, mate.
No worries. Wish I knew how you carried so much speed through there.
Tiny little bits of throttle inputs at the right time.
Thanks.
It's going to end well.
Sorry, Dale.
Yeah, the back was coming around from the moment I took turn one. Thought I could hold on to it, but the weight was moving around. So many cars on pit lane, it's difficult to see when there's a free gap in the traffic.
Bumper probably about 5 out. 5 out. Keep digging, man.
Yeah, no worries, George. Thanks, mate. Sure.
Having to deal with stutters, and doesn't help when you then get a bit of a slide going on, and instead of the car going in a straight line, it's drifting, which may look good on TV or replays, but it means you're not going forwards. If you're not going forwards, you're not making up any time mark. I would say I don't usually talk to myself, but I usually only don't talk to myself, bad grammar there, when I'm racing. Every other moment in life, yep, I have some great conversations with myself. I was going off into the dirt all the way through there. Turn 1 here is tricky, to say the least. You've got to get on the brake, retard the car, scrub off the speed, get the nose to turn in, try not to pop the engine. And if you've done any laps in the V8, you'll know that braking and turning aren't two of its favourite things. Braking, fine, and even then, it's not the greatest. Turning, yeah, apparently the QE2 turns better. However, chuck in some oversteer by either messing with the roll bars or the shocks, and then all of a sudden it turns. But like you just saw there, when I say turns, I mean oversteers and the back wants to come round. Which makes this fun.
Very slow on the left.
Don't do it.
One on the right side. Clear, clear, clear.
There you go, lap done. Took my eye off the apex to see if he was going to come on. And then from that moment, losing time all the way through the sector.
We do need to check the carb coming down the front straight before we pull out of the pit then.
I did, it was all clear.
If it was clear, I wouldn't have tagged there.
Slow on the
The
right.
next corner.
Keep
Can't do
coming.
much about that.
Keep going. Left side. Clear.
The next corner? What are you talking about?
I don't think anything came off the car. You just slid through the dirt and the grass. He's moving, he's moving. Keep going. Left side. Clear.
V8's here. Yeah, a bit of a nightmare. Although it's probably one of the tracks that suits the car really well. If you watch some of the archive footage for the V8s, you'll see that the cars run around really narrow tracks, so that's what I like about this series. You have to be really gentle with the car.
In front of you. In front of you.
You've got to think about braking long before you would in a GT car or a high downforce car. So you get a lot of drivers coming from the Dallara or the GT3s who hate the car just because you can't just smash your foot to the floor. So I'd suggest people try it out, but before they do, go do some laps in the Lotus 49. If you do some laps in that car, it'll teach you some really good throttle control and brake control. You've got to come on and off both pedals gently. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I didn't time that well. Okay, he just hit the brakes.
Right side.
You're braking on the racing line.
Clear, clear, clear.
Don't know if you meant to or if your brake pedal's dragging. Could well be that he's not run this track before and is a bit scared of going into turn one. You've got to go in there with commitment. I would look down at the chat, but you've seen what happens every time I do that. I fly off the track.
He's moving. On your right. All clear, my man.
Damn it. Back was coming around, so was way offline, couldn't get the apex, slow onto the straight.
Keep your eyes
So
open.
mess up the end of that lap, mess up the start of this lap.
Left side. Clear, clear.
The trick to this track is rolling momentum.
On your left. Still there at your door. All
So
clear.
off the power early, just tap the brake. You pretty much tiptoe on both the gas and the brakes. And as for the steering, well, yeah, if you can call it steering. Okay. Let's take out some rear anti-roll bar. I'm just being stubborn. That's new, haven't seen that before. Okay, normally I wouldn't be online at this time. Being here in Europe, I'd usually be at work. However, guess who's broke up for Christmas already? Not that I'm the biggest fan of Christmas.
He's rolling.
However, if it means I get to run some laps, I won't complain. All of us sim racers have to stick together, so if you feel like it, hit follow, go take a look at the team YouTube page. Can't steer and talk at the same time. Hit subscribe. We're on Google Plus as well. We're on Facebook.
Middle of the track. In front of you.
This is going to be interesting.
On your right. Still there. Clear. Very slow on the right.
No,
Keep going. One on the right side. Clear.
Lord have mercy. I haven't bought anything yet. Okay, I lie. I've done some Amazon shopping. You know, can't be bothered to go into the mall, so order stuff online. Hope it gets here before Christmas. However, I do have to go out and buy some gifts. However, I'm one of those people that thinks Christmas is for children, so I keep trying to convince my adult friends that we should just buy for the kids and for everyone else, maybe go out to dinner. However, they happen to be the biggest kids of the lot. Now, usually I don't like spending money on myself. I'm not a miser. I'm not the most materialistic person in the world. However, I did buy myself a GoPro Hero 3. When the weather gets nicer, I'll start cycling again, and I figured I could, you know, mount it to my helmet. Also, wow, stutters. If I can get on the kart track with some friends, again I can mount that and then add some real world videos to our page rather than just the sim racing ones. Okay, this is an outlap, so it should be slow, but I'm going to concentrate and try and nail it.
Keep your eyes open.
And I blew turn one. Okay, so let's just give up on this lap. There is absolutely no point trying to chase the time. So yeah, bought myself a GoPro. Other than that, presents for the goddaughters, nieces, nephews. The one goddaughter is getting Minecraft, this Minecraft that she's absolutely addicted. Now, I can't criticize because I spend every spare moment I get sim racing, so, you know, fair play to her. Plus, I read an article that it's teaching people good life lessons, apparently. You know, resource management, hunter-gathering. Much better than Grand Theft Auto. Although I won't say anything because I'm sure all of you play Grand Theft Auto. Missed that apex. As you can see, I'm a good advert for why you shouldn't talk and drive at the same time. I really want to get back into R Factor. R Factor was brilliant, but looking at R Factor 2, it hasn't won me over yet. The dynamic road looks amazing, but I can't really jump from one sim to the other. I'm one of those sim racers that is always about 1.5 seconds or more off the fastest. And no matter how many laps I put in, I'm still 1.5 seconds off. Although, if you look at optimals, there you go, you'll see I can usually get my optimals within, I don't know, half a second, 6/10. But when it comes to actually putting the laps together, I choke. And for those that think it's all set up, it's not. You've got some people out there that are obviously born with petrol in their veins. And at 40 years old, this dog is probably a little too old to learn new tricks. Oh, horrible gear change. Shut up, Mark, and just drive.
Slow car off to the right. He's moving, he's moving. Keep coming.
No. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. It's the same guy. I have hit him 3 times this session. It's like fate just wants us to trade paint. Pit road here is suicidal. Hello, Apex. Didn't get anywhere near that apex though. Whoa.
Anyone else dropping out for the race in 5?
Not me, Matt. Got to do a bit more practice. Not to mention housework. Yeah, I remember Grand Theft Auto when it first came out. That top-down view, nice and retro. Um, and then I just, I don't know, lost track of it. The phenomenon, everyone was playing it. Took me years to realise it's because it had moved to third-person view. However, I may well have played Modern Warfare and Call of Duty and all host of others. But there just seems to be something wrong about killing prostitutes and just mugging people. Maybe I'm old school, but at least in all of the warfare games, your opponent can shoot back. And it seems like everybody's just morphing into the same games producers. So
Keep going.
I remember when Driver first came out and it was brilliant. It had absolutely nothing to do with getting out of the car. And then they saw how successful Grand Theft Auto was, and yep, all of a sudden Driver became Grand Theft Auto. So, do any of you actually race on iRacing? And if so, anyone thinking about joining the V8 series? I won't say it's the most enjoyable series on the service because everyone says that, but I will say that it's really rewarding.
Your eyes open.
If you haven't driven the car, short shifting is your friend. The car has so much torque that you don't really want to be up in the top of the rev range. You'll just spin the rear tyres.
Car on the right. Keep coming.
Oh, you gotta be kidding. It's my friend Gary. See? Apex gone. Okay. Let's change the tyres. Sorry. Should have muted that. Love the C6R. Was my favourite car on iRacing until I had a season where I seemed to crash every race, and I moved on. I think I moved on to the Dallara. Had some fun in the Dallara. However, I'm not sure if you've ever had a look in the Dallara forums. If you haven't, don't, because there's some brilliant guys in there and some proper, yeah. And I just couldn't handle it. There's just far too much drama going on most of the times, and whilst I should be old enough and tough enough to just ignore it, I do this as a hobby. Real life is stressful enough, so the last thing you want is to go into a forum where it just seems to kick off every week. I'd love to go back to the core of it actually, but I really have to focus on one car. I can't jump from car to car. So if I want to get inside that elusive 1.5 seconds, I need to just stick to it in practice. And when I say 1.5, this isn't really respective, this isn't what I mean. Here, I should be around here. But if you'd seen Madison Downs' time, you'll see he's already in the 105s. So I should be around here. And normally I'm around the same pace as Dale. And since Oran Park is such a short track, 1.5 seconds off is a lifetime. It's like Watkins Glen, not so much the same, but Watkins Glen, if you've ever raced at Watkins Glen, hear me lisping, wow. Try not to spit on the mic. Yeah, but Watkins Glen, there, because it's draft like hell, you find that people shorten that distance down to tenths. So, loved the C6R, would like to race it again. But yeah, I'm in Holden heaven at the moment. Yeah, Prayer 954. Look on the forum, you'll see in the V8's thread that Oceanic Sim Racing OSR do a development series. They race, I think it's Tuesdays, Wednesdays. It's not really a good time for international drivers unless you're US, but it's good for the Australian time zones. They do a fixed series, so everyone runs the same set, and the guys in there will help everybody. Actually, anyone in the V8 series will help you as long as you show the right attitude. So drop in any session, anyone will help. Look on the forums. Mitchell McLeod and the rest of the guys at Full Motorsports, they'll be doing setups every week and track guides each week. You also will see who else shares sets on there? Well, yeah, Oceanic Sim Racing, every week that they do the development series, they'll put a set up there. And people in practice sessions will share more than people think. If you ask them nicely, politely, they see you putting in laps and you're actually on track in the session, they'll likely share whatever they've got. If they're top running cars, drivers I should say, they might not, but that's because they're really gunning for the title. Whereas everyone else, yeah, if we find something, we'll share it, because it's less about the setup. Won't say the setup doesn't help, it does help, but it's less about the setup, more about the car. And if you're coming from GT3, what you need to do is back everything up. So whereas in the GT car you'll go into like the, I don't know, the 100-meter board or less, you can't do that in the V8. As soon as you see on track where the tyre marks are, the rubber into the braking zone, you want to already be braking. A lot of people still try to go in deep because the really fast guys can, but you then have to really be a gymnast with your footwork, because you want to slow the car down, get it to turn, maintain apex speed and get it out. And it's a lot going on. The GT car can do it because it's planted, whereas this thing, if you ask them, they'll all say the same thing: under-tired, overpowered, under-braked. So you'll see a lot of people chasing lap times, going in deeper and deeper, because that's what you might do in a GT car, whereas here, if you watch, everything is earlier. And the more you can do with the steering straightened out, the better. If you're turning the wheel and you're on either the brake or the gas, the car doesn't like it. And also your lines, if you can straighten out, square off the apex, whoa, arcs too much of the tyres, but if you can square off the apexes and kind of diamond them, come off them oblique, you can get the steering straightened out much sooner. And then by doing that, you can just squeeze on the gas and carry much more exit speed than Bob's your uncle. You're carrying more speed down the straight. But around a lot of tracks, you'll find that the tip that most people will give you is go into it 1 gear higher. Oh look, my mate Gary. But yeah, if you want to use lower gears, then use a higher gear ratio. So here I'm using the 3.5 ratio. You could use 3.75, but you'll start popping as you come into the braking zone. Some people would use the 3.15 here, the tallest gear ratio, just to try and use the torque and cut down on the wheel spin, because this will wheel spin in any gear. Okay, I either need to get by him or let Craig go. Oh well. First lap out on the V8 isn't the fastest, so you don't need to do any of that stupid slow out that crap. And use the gears to brake. And squeeze the gas, none of that stomping. If you can channel your inner Prost and do everything smoothly, you get to the start-finish line and wonder how the hell you carried so much speed. And yeah, my fault.
Left side, clear. Good job.
If you look at the throttle trace, you'll see there aren't many points on the track where you go flat out. Wow. I shifted down too soon, so I stayed on the brake too long. Waved goodbye to the apex. Excuse me. Damn it. Okay, that used to be in Apex. Yeah, now the Ford's out, and everyone finally gets to do the Holden v Ford on iRacing. I'm hoping that some of the new participants we got when the Holden came out hang around. Problem with the car, probably like the C6R, is... Sorry, had to cough. Yeah, because it drives so differently to everything else, people don't hang around, so if they see it as a new car, shiny, let's go buy it. They can't set world record times because you have to be dedicated to the car or an alien freak from Venus. And so you don't get much participation, and especially because it's rarely an Australian series, you don't see much participation outside Oz New Zealand friendly hours. So the fact this session's full, I don't know if it's because all the kids have broken up from school for their summer holidays, or because new build, new car. Messed that up. Got greedy.
Hang on to it.
It'd be good to see the C6R get its participation back, but they keep dropping it in and out of different series, and then everyone cries for it to have its own, and then everyone runs off and drives a GT car. Gonna sneeze.
Keep an eye open. Keep an eye open.
Did you see that? That coming around all the way around that turn. The V8's really a niche car in a niche hobby, like the Lotus 49 or the Lotus 79. They're not easy to drive, so you end up with people that just love the cars populating the servers, and they're the ones that hang around. But it'd be good for more people to join. There's some really good leagues as well. Apex Racing TV run a league. They should be starting up again 2015. V8's Online with Oceanic Sim Racing will be doing the Premier Series. That will be immense. Those races get broadcast as well, so if you're like me, a bit of a sim racing vanity whore, and you jump into all the leagues that get broadcast. You can add those to your list. Premier's harder, you've got to pre-qualify to get on that grid, whereas at ARL, it's a bit like the OSR development series. People join it to get better in the car away from the official series. This is another one of those cars you steer with your right foot. Steering wheel's just the thing you hold on to. I used to left foot brake all the time, but I found that I'd get lazy and sit on the brake pedal too long. Ah, shite. Scheisse. 1 second, the front door's knocking. Yeah, definitely. Run some laps. If you put the time into the car, it's one of those ones where you rarely get a sense of satisfaction if you manage to finish the lap, let alone put in a good lap. But the racing in the car, it's intense. You get a lot of door-to-door racing. Because the car's so heavy, it can take a little bit of rubbing. It's a bit dangerous if you're, like me, an international on the Australian servers, because the ping can fool the software into giving you one of those netcode contacts. But every time I finish one of these races, I have to have a shower. I know the same can be said for lots of other cars, but I also feel like I've done a workout, because it's probably just me, the way I hold the steering wheel. But there's a lot of resistance. Going on, trying to keep the steering straight. Trying to catch the slides. unwinding the steering so that you can squeeze the gas. And again, if you look at the throttle trace, you'll see there's a lot of slowly squeezing it rather than being able to just floor it. And a lot of people new to the car think it's unrealistic and say, well, when I see Shane Van Gisbergen on TV racing, he doesn't do that. And then one of the vets will say, oh yeah, go look at some in-car footage and you'll see that's exactly what they do. Have to let Nathan by. Go left, Nathan.
Left side, clear.
That's fine.
I'd completely messed up the entrance onto the front straight, so there's no point staying in front of him. Okay, if I'm going to do this more often, I'm going to need to put the chat feed somewhere where I can actually look at it without driving off the track. Although, you've seen me try to talk and drive and it's not pretty, so you can imagine what I'm like reading. In most races I hit mute on the voice chat until I get near another car because it just distracts me. And as for the text chat, oh, no idea why people have war and peace conversations when a race is on. Okay, gonna get some fresh tyres, do one more run, and then go and do some housework and a workout. Although this is a bit of a workout. Yep, housework, you know. Oh look, it's my mate Gary. There are like 39 cars on track. What are the odds that I keep coming across? He's not doing anything wrong. Fair play. It's just, what are the odds? What was I saying? Oh yeah, if I'm going to do this more often. Normally I just streamed using my GeForce graphics card Titan, just using Shadow Play I love. Just lets you stream straight from the videos card, but then you can't do any of the overlays. So I'm trying OBS. Problem I've got is it works perfectly in a setter core, so I can go into the game full screen. Whereas for some reason, and I know other people have the same problem, iRacing, if I go into full screen, it just shows up black. So now I'm in windowed mode, and I think windowed mode is causing problems.
Your eyes open. Keep coming.
But it's all about trying to get a little bit more activity going through my team, well, the team I belong to. Blue Flag Racing. I think we've been around since 2007. And we're just trying to see if we can get a little bit more community interaction. We're one of those teams where we never aspire to be the fastest, we just enjoy our hobby, so we never take it too seriously. It's all about just having fun and supporting each other, but I'm trying to get this streaming to work, so both on my Twitch and the team's Twitch and the team's Facebook and YouTube, Google Plus, you name it, that we can get a few more visitors. So go take a look, leave us some feedback. Got nice bunch of guys on the team. We're not recruiting at the moment, but that might change once we sort out some of our projects for 2015. See what I mean? Two good sectors followed by putts. But yeah, go check us out. Leave us some feedback on any of the videos you see on our YouTube. That's Blue Flag Racing with a space. Or look us up on Google Plus Blue Flag Racing. Again, spaces between each word. On Facebook.com Blue Flag Racing. One word, no spaces. And Twitter. So if you haven't hit follow here, both my Twitch and the team Twitch will tweet to our Twitter stream. So twitter.com/Blue Flag Racing, one word. So whenever we're streaming, you should get a notification. Warning, we're still testing stuff out, and some of the other team members haven't got their streaming software set up yet, so I will warn you now, you might get a lot of notifications that a stream's starting, hit the link, and the stream's finished already. Although, it's coming up to Christmas, a lot of people will be off work, so it may well be that we'll be online a hell of a lot more. Was impatient, picked up the throttle too soon. Still had steering locking. Okay, last lap. Actually, might get to. Gonna shut up and try and bank it. Nope, had to get out of the brake. That's another thing about this car. If you're driving it for the first time, the more you brake, the straighter it goes. So you have to be counterintuitive. And if you see yourself going off, lift out of the brake. Let me let Wayne by. Excuse me, sorry. Meant to hit mute first. And if you're new to iRacing, the F3 key is your friend. Lets you know when people are coming up behind you on track. A lot of new people to the service don't realise, and yeah, don't make friends by coming out of the pit straight in front of you, Okay, go mute. Right rear off the track, over. Oh well. Not too bad, haven't really messed with the setup or anything. Session optimal, what is it? 1067. Yeah. Less than a second off George, but I should be about half a second off. But I'll take that for now. I'll do some more practice later. That turn one is ridiculous. I'll change the camera angle if you haven't seen the car come through there. Loaded up. You'll see what I mean about the braking, steering. It's ridiculous. Does not want to go anywhere near that apex. It doesn't even like driving in a straight line, so this car is most definitely a heap of fun. Hi Myrtle. Okay, most people I've ever seen in my chat. So if I didn't say hello before, sorry. Hi Astron. Sedate Drewster. Who else did we have in here? Reckless F4 man. What's that all about? Who else? Prior 954. And of course, Myrtle 871. I wish everyone was driving the V8 supercars now. Huge fun. I think the GT3 cars will continue to be the most popular series. It's what everyone sees on TV. And being GT3 cars as they are, they're probably a little more user-friendly. I've been sim racing now over 20 years and I always seem to be attracted to the niche cars. But hey, works for me. No, I'm from England. I just seem to have developed a lisp as I've got older, although it probably was there all the time. So I'm going to listen back to this stream afterwards and cringe every time I hear the on the mic. Most of the series regulars are Aussie though, or Kiwis. There's a good following also though from the US drivers because their time zones overlap more conveniently with the New Zealand servers. So the Strength for Field races are usually, I don't know, what is it, Monday morning, Monday afternoon, UK time. The only time you can really get an official race in this, if participation drops to its normal levels, will be Saturday morning, Sunday morning, Monday morning, and most of us are at work. So that's why you've got to be really dedicated to drive the car, and if you are, you'll love it. If you're not, you think all of that practice all week long just for one or two races, and you think, well, hold on a minute, I'm paying for this. And that's why people end up going off to things like, oh god, the Star Mazda in hell. Brilliant car, great fun to drive, some really talented drivers in there, and then there are some nutters. So if you're looking after your iRacing, I wouldn't go near the Star Mazda unless you're really good and really lucky. You then have this Skip Barber's still a really good car, really good car. The Dallara is now really popular. Everyone was waiting for the DW12. What else? Reef Cup. I hear that the C-Spec drives more like this than any of the other GT3 cars. So if you're thinking of making the jump, try the C-Spec. It again, you have to brake earlier, understeers a bit more, so you have to be patient with it, just like this. Well, thank you guys for watching. As I said, go find us, like us, follow us, whatever it is you need to do. Have fun. I'm sure I'll be back on later, and definitely during the week, because if I hadn't said it already, I have no work until the 29th of December, just on holiday. And yeah, if you've got your own YouTube page or you've got your own Twitch stream, come find us on Facebook, drop us a message, and we'll see if we can follow back your page. If you're in any sim racing teams, let us know, and we can follow you as well. Because although there's only about 50-60,000 sim racers in the world, and we all have to stick together, it will be nice, as I said, to get a little bit more interaction with the community. See what I mean? Brake lights. He was being helpful, but just a tip, if you're new to sim racing, do not brake on the racing line. You'll get rear-ended. No one's going to expect you to brake to let them by. Maybe lift and coast, but not brake. Anyway, time for me to run. It's been fun. See you guys later. And I'll try and improve all of this. Give me feedback on the overlay as well. Whether you think it works, looks crap, needs changing. I'm new to all of this. I'm not very technically gifted when it comes to software and IT stuff. If I've signed off and there's no way to leave the feedback here, come find me on the Blue Flag Racing Facebook page and send us a message there. But any feedback, any tips would be helpful, especially if you know how to get OBS to work like this with overlays, with iRacing in full screen mode rather than windowed, and not monitor capture. Monitor capture won't work for me. It looks a bit dodgy. So yeah, okay. Thanks guys, girls, and see you later.